It's a huge YouTube challenge. Escape a deserted island on a boat you built yourself. But after a week of grueling effort, the whole thing ended in failure, just short of the goal.
So what exactly went wrong? Let's dive in and see how this whole thing unraveled.
The goal was simple, but wow, was it huge. Build a boat from scratch and just sail away. So, could a bunch of YouTubers, not survival experts, actually pull this off? That was the real question. Okay, so first things first. Before they could even think about a boat, they had to survive the island. To get bamboo for the boat, they had to go into a jungle full of venomous stuff. It turns out their best resource was just trash, specifically those sealed barrels they found washed up. All right, so here's the plan. It basically came down to 4 steps, from a mini model to the real deal. Everything, and I mean everything, hinged on finding 4 good barrels. It became this massive scavenger hunt. And the heat was absolutely brutal. It pushed the whole team to its breaking point. But then, the float test actually worked. Suddenly, you could feel that escape was actually possible. After a week of nonstop work, the boat was finally ready. Time to hit the open ocean. And what came next was just a brutal 12-hour marathon, nonstop paddling against everything. They had to cross more than 5 miles, but their oars were breaking and people were too sick to even paddle. And after all that, they were so close. I'm talking less than half a mile away. But this is where it all came down to a final battle, the team's last bit of energy versus the ocean. The tide, the very thing that had been helping them, suddenly flipped. It started dragging them back out to sea. There was nothing they could do but watch that island get farther away. It was over. Stranded and totally exhausted, their only choice was to signal for rescue. They fired the flare.
But instead of making excuses, MrBeast just made a promise. The next challenge, he's not going to fail.
Which kind of leaves you wondering, right? Is a failed attempt still a success in its own way?